magic in the air. Wands roll around us, cast away our care. Friends in the hallways, adventures we find. Spells and enchantments, trouble on our mind. That's so wizards, oh, 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 oh. Life is a spell we know. We're casting joy and glow, oh, oh. That's the Wizard Show.
They're back! Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, or whatever. These stat rolling methods for Dungeons and Dragons are more fun than the traditional way. 2d6 plus 6, or just give yourself straight 18s. Yep, this is the genius from the geniuses over at Wizards of the Coast. What a great way to start today's dive into their stuff. And it's not that anything is really super offensive. It's just more of the same. Wizards doesn't really know what they're doing, doesn't really know what they're saying, doesn't really understand who their audience is or really who their game is. So they're just sort of throwing stuff out there and hoping for the best, I guess. Continuing with the, we're a franchise now, everything's going to be under one roof. D&D, the physical media, is going to be dead by 2030, but D&D, the brand, alive and well, not going anywhere. Blah, 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 yakety, smackety. That's from Animaniacs, right? Okay, so we got 3. 2 of them are just basically embarrassing, and the third is another Wizards of the Coast 3-second memories. So let's start with this one, because yeah, why not? So we know that there are 2 new Forgotten Realm books coming out. Well, I don't know if this is the entire Forgotten Realms or simply just the Swords Coast, but because I seriously doubt Mulholland or any of the other places are going to get any cover in this book. But yeah, so these 2 books on the Forgotten Realms are going to have several digital DLCs, including one featuring Asterion. Asterion, I think, is one of the characters from Baldur's Gate 3, and there was some adult stuff that was associated with this character that maybe got some furs and grims and stuff. Anyway, so yeah. There's a pre-order bonus, because we remember all those other pre-order bonuses that you've done so well, Wizards of the Coast, right? The pre-order bonus that you never sent, the pre-order bonus that you counted as total sales and got you in trouble, that you're still being sued for and investigated for. So yes, there's going to be D&D Beyond subscribers, D&D Beyond DLC, hidden in the book. How do you hide a DLC in the book? Well, I assume it's either going to be codes, or they're just basically saying, hey, if you buy it on D&D Beyond, we're going to add extra free goodies that you can DLC. Now, I'm not quite sure how that works. Now, if we're talking about the physical book, which it doesn't sound like they're definitely calling it a monetization scheme. They claim that, well, you know, since so many people are using D&D Beyond, raise your hand if you're using D&D Beyond. Isn't D&D Beyond just getting more and more complicated? I don't know. It feels like less and less people bring it up in a conversation, possibly because it's just gotten so hard to navigate, and, you know, they've lost so much of the staff. And I don't really know. I think people are using it for maps still, and maybe to keep their character sheets on. But I don't know. I can't remember the last time it came up in a conversation. Ooh, I got a comment already. What's up? Oh, hi, Grandma. All right, so blah, blah, blah. Rule tucked away in the rule book. Upcoming releases will include several digital DLCs to expand on the new setting. One example was Asterion's Book of Hungers, which focuses on an urban vampire adventures. I guess Asterion is one of those vampires we're supposed to be selling. No other details were made available other than, yes, it is a monetization scheme. We don't know if it's going to be paid DLC or free DLC. We're not going to know how we're doing it. It says digital-only supplements alongside their various books, ranging from mini bestiaries to supplementary adventures. As long as you subscribe to D&D Beyond, you will be able to have these things on your D&D Beyond account, which of course, we can't really download those, and Wizards of the Coast can change those, alter those, remove those at any time they want, and you only have access to them for as long as you keep paying for D&D Beyond. And I don't know if it's a DLC if you can't download it. Isn't that imperative in the actual name? DLC, download content, so I can download it from the web to my comptometer so I could use it later, print it out later, store it in a zip drive, share it with friends if it's like a map. But if it's on D&D Beyond and we can't download things from D&D Beyond, because if you've ever seen how D&D Beyond does the products, it's not just a one PDF. You got to go step by step by step by step by step, which takes like way too long. So if it's just a code on D&D Beyond to get me more stuff for D&D Beyond that I might have to pay for, it's not a DLC. And if it's a code that's going to be hidden in the physical content to go to D&D Beyond to get the DLC that I can't download to monetize more DLC, I don't really understand. I mean, I know I'm not the smartest head of cabbage in the vegetable department, but downloadable content means I can download it and it's mine, and I can print it out like maps, character record sheets, or use it with the adventure I'm running if it's additional stuff. And it's just basically them saying, hey, if you want to get all the good stuff, kids, you got to get on D&D Beyond with all the other cool kids, because then you'll be able to get all the other stuff. If you're a normal Luddite like the OGGM and you just want to buy the book in the store, well, you're not going to get all the cool extra candy. Yeah, that does sound a little shitty when I say it out loud. But again, it just sort of feels like D&D Beyond doesn't really know what it's going on anymore, probably because 90% of the staff is gone and it's being run by a couple. I don't know who's even running D&D Beyond anymore. The new guy, Mackenzie, a couple trained chihuahuas and Snail. Did they just leave the AI running and hope it would eventually come up with things that made sense? I really don't know, because I think D&D Wizards of the Coast Seattle's got like 300 people working for it right now, maybe less. So yeah, sure, monetization. We knew they were going to do that. Nobody should be surprised about this. Focusing more on D&D Beyond. We knew they were going to do that, despite the fact that D&D Beyond doesn't really seem to be a thing anymore. But yeah, we knew that was going to be a thing. They were trying to go more digital, more branding, more monetization. But it's not a DLC if it's already online. Is it? Maybe I just misunderstood what DLC means. I don't know. It just sounds dumb. Speaking of dumb, as long as we're talking about the Forgotten Realms, or at least the whatever they're calling it. Well, I mean, it's the Forgotten Realms guide, but it's basically the Swords Coast, right? They're not going to do like the weird, obscure stuff. I don't think Mulhorand or Chasenta is going to get any love. Here's the covers! Yay! Now remember, as always, these could be the finished covers. They could be preview covers. They might change the covers. And inevitably, no matter what we see in the book, we're going to find out 2 weeks from now that they had art that was better. So this is one of the covers. This is the Heroes of Faerun. So we've got, I don't know who that is. Not sure who this is. It's not Dragonbait. Minx and Boo and Geralax. I guess they couldn't get Dritz. He was too busy. So they got Geralax instead. Now, this is a very bright, sunny, goofy, typical art. There's definitely some AI going on here. I have some questions because I'm pretty sure none of these people ever adventured together. And I'm not even sure some of these guys even occupied the same points in time together. Would probably help if I knew who these two were. But yeah, so But yeah, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember Jarlax and Minx ever hanging out together. I'm pretty sure Minx wouldn't hang out with Jarlax, being as, Minx is the epitome of lawful good, and Jarlax, not so much. Go for the eyes, boo. But other than that, yeah, okay. It doesn't really say Forgotten Realms to me. It says, okay, here's some characters. It says Forgotten Realms books, so I guess these people who live in the Forgotten Realms, maybe? I don't know. Where's the usual guy? Where's the old guy, the wizard who was always on the covers before? Where are the knights? Where's something that tells me actually this is the Forgotten Realms, as opposed to a guy from a video game, a guy from a book series, and two people I don't recognize? Where's Elminster? Cover number 2, Adventures in Faerun, has Ilya from the X-Men on the cover. And a beholder, I think, a gigantic mind flayer, and some lizard men, and no idea who this young lady is, but she sure looks like Ilya Rasputin from the X-Men, also known as Magic, or just a demonic... I have no idea who this person is. Is she a bad guy from the Forgotten Realms or Baldur's Gate or something? Is she a player character? How does this tell me about the adventures in the Faerun when you're just showing me evil demon queen Ilya from the X-Men? No clue. Show me something adventurous. Show me Hallister standing in front of the entrance to Undermountain. Show me some sword fights. Show me the cover from, Tomb of Annihilation. Show me the characters from the first book going through a dungeon. Something that says, hey, these are adventures in iconic locations in the Forgotten Realms. Here's Baldur's Gate. Here's Waterdeep. Here's wherever. Here's Drizzt. Nope, we've got evil blonde girl. Now, I'm assuming maybe 5e people know who this person is. I don't. If I was going, hey, Forgotten Realms, I want to see something about adventures. And I'd look at this and I'd go, well, wait, why is that She-Ra? Who's this blonde chick? Hey guys, did you know October was right around the cover? D&D was always a kid's game. No, they're not. No, they've made it very clear what the plan for D&D is, who they think D&D's target audience is, and where they think D&D is going to be this year, next year, the year after that, going into 230. I'm sure somebody said multiple times what D&D Wizards of the Coast Hasbro's plan for the product was. I'm sure somebody has. Can't think of who. I mean, other than Hasbro repeatedly telling us what the plans are. Speaking of Halloween, because haunt season has officially begun. I don't know if you guys knew this, but several of the haunts are open. Halloween Horror Nights is doing previews already. Midsummer Scream. If you go on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of late July, early August haunts. The decorations are up already at Costco and Home Depot. So, of course, Wizards of the Coast is going to jump in. We knew that they were going to do an October product that Mackenzie is ruining. And we were under the impression it was going to be Ravenloft. But no, it's not. So, Lord knows what they were talking about with all that October product, Ravenloft product, other than maybe that's coming out next year, because they did say they were going to we were going to revisit Ravenloft Against the Giants and Keep on the Borderlands. I know we just did Keep on the Borderlands, but expect another Keep on the Borderlands. Bam! So we got our very first crossover between Dungeons and Dragons and Hellfire Club / Stranger Things. This is the very first one, as long as you ignore the fact that they did one previously, and all the other companies who have done Stranger Things / D20 books in the past 4 seasons. But this one, of course, features Eddie and the characters from season 4. It's supposed to grab that old 1980s feel by going with the old red box cover art, and this art of Eddie and the adventurers, and just I don't know how this really screams 80s or Hellfire Club other than that. God, this guy's going to be known forever for this one scene and the one, that he stood up and did that. I don't know. What am I looking for? What's the word? Gesture. Lord knows how many times they shot that scene to get Eddie to do the gesture, but he does the gesture, and that gesture has now been memed to death. And it's kind of like, no matter what this kid does in the future, unless he does something amazing to break his people's perception of him, like Elijah Wood has done, and the kid who played Harry Potter has done, this guy's always going to be known as the guy who did this. But anyways, that's the cover for the brand new, never before seen. This is the first time we've ever done it, as long as you ignore all the previous ones. Stranger Things thing. It's got poster-sized maps. Features various Stranger Things creatures, including the Doombats and Demi-Dogs and Demigorgon. It covers the first 4 seasons of the game. I think Wizards meant first 4 seasons of the show, but you never know. Quick start guide, pre-generated sheets for the 5 characters, tokens and cards, poster-sized map, and a double-side poster of Grey Hawkins, the realm where the adventures take place. Features Eddie, and supposed to be filled with 1980s nostalgia and aesthetics. And if they time it right, it'll come out when the new season starts, late October, early November. You probably want it out before Halloween. So is this the new Ravenloft that they were working on? Because we knew they were working on a new horror themed for October, where they showed us all those new characters and new modules and new classes. But no, I don't think we're going to see the Warlock Hexblade in this, if it's just a starter set. So we can probably still expect another horror by Mackenzie Daams. I say Ravenloft. Featuring all those new classes and stuff like that, because there's no mention of it. So this is more of like just a quick starter book, but themed to a TV show, because we got to milk that Stranger Things nostalgia, because this is supposedly the last season. This is it. We're done with the story. Whatever comes next, I mean, let's face it, the kids are getting a little too old to keep playing kids in the 80s. And maybe the Stranger Things phenomenon has come to an end. I don't know. But it's news. And of course, in the usual Wizards of the Coast 3-second memory, they would like us to think this is the first time they've ever done this. We've never done one before. As long as you don't count the previous ones. Yeah. As long as you don't count the previous ones, this is the first time we've ever done this. What about, nope, that never happened. Remember, here at Wizards of the Coast, we only acknowledge the past 5 seconds. Anything that happened yesterday never happened. Anything that my predecessor did, like, Crawford or Perkins, that was never happened. Never happened. So that's what's going on with Wizards of the Coast. And let's just not forget, in closing, that Wizards of the Coast also says, go ahead and cheat on your rolls. 2d6 plus 6 if you don't like it. Or just add plus 6. Fuck, just give yourself straight 18s. I don't know. It doesn't matter. As we discussed it yesterday, we don't want D&D to be stressful or threatening or dangerous or ruin your advocacy in any way, shape, or form. So who knows? Oh, it's not like Wizards hasn't been telling you consistently since basically 4th edition what the plan was. It's not like Hasbro's CEO didn't come out at PulseCon 2020. I was there. And not tell us what the plan was. And it's not like they consistently haven't been telling us what the plan is for 2025, 2027, and 2030. So it's not a surprise what they're doing. It's a surprise how they're doing it. Really, I mean, you know, and the art for the Forgotten Realms is a perfect example that we just looked at, because it doesn't tell me anything about the Forgotten Realms. If I wasn't a D&D nerd, I wouldn't have known who any of those characters are. I don't know who the blonde chick is, and nothing about those two covers screams Forgotten Realms or D&D. It just, I don't know what this is. Other than if you took off Dungeons and Dragons from the cover and just showed the artwork, what is this? Who are these people? Why am I interested in this product? What are this? Is this a new cartoon? Is this a video game? I don't know what this is. Nothing about it screams D&D to me. Unless you're a nitpicky nerd like me, you don't even know who Minsk and Jarlax is. I definitely don't know who the other three characters are. But I mean, I haven't played D&D 5e in a while, so I'm probably pretty far behind on my Forgotten Realms Sword Coast knowledge. I prefer Mulhorand and Thay. Anyways, and speaking of Thay, hey, all I can say is, oh, wizards, you silly sausage.
Mischief in the classroom, potions gone astray, flying through the quad, now brighter every day. Laugh till we cry hard, sneaking out at night, cloaks in the moonlight, everything feels right.